That's right, folks. It is time for Bird of the Day. Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, bird of the day, we got a good bird of the day. We got a real good bird of the day today. So, as usual, I always ask, what's your favorite bird? And Ergo always like, it's crow. I'm like, well, yeah, of course it's crow. It's my favorite bird too. And Rook, Rook, didn't you also say crow or something? Even
Yeah, I
though,
did, yes.
even though you're a rook, which is
Well, my name is Rook, but I'm a crow.
okay, okay. Uh, in that case, I'm gonna like I'd be like a human being named chimpanzee.
Yeah, exactly.
In the same
Close enough.
family. In the same family, it works, I guess. But Grezzy, well, Grezzy gave a really great answer. Bird I hadn't done yet. A real fun bird. And so today, we're doing the superb bird of paradise.
Ooh.
Oh.
Look at that insane bird. You see those two blue things up there? Those are not eyes. Those are feathers. His eyes are actually his eyes are down here. Yeah. So there are actually over 24 different species of bird of paradise, but the superb bird of paradise is the one that we're going to cover today. And wow, I mean, superb is right. These are amazing, amazing birds. And I mean, just look at those color. Look at that blue on them. That's some iridescent blue. Beautiful.
You don't see like a cyan that often.
Yeah, like a bright blue cyan. Very nice. So the name of the bird is actually the greater Laforina. That's like that's not their like scientific name. It's like that's actual their proper name. But the superb bird of paradise is a much more common name. So both of them are proper names for what the species is, Laforina superba. So interestingly, they are passeriformes. All the birds of paradise are passeriformes, and the Paradisidae is basically the family of birds that is all the birds of paradise. And passeriformes, as we all know, are your small little perching birds. So that includes things like finches, corvids, robins, cardinals, all your little standard little birds. But boy, these might be the most spectacular and beautiful of all the passeriformes. I mean, it's pretty hard to argue otherwise. But just the colors. They're so beautiful.
The color.
Although, if you see on this little artistic rendering here, the males have the colors. The ladies, kind of brown and boring. I'm not boring. I think there's still a lot of beauty in their colors, but they're just not as flamboyant, let's say. Now, these are pretty decent-sized birds. They're 9.8 to 10.2 inches long. So that's going to put them a little bit bigger than like a robin. Bigger than a cardinal, bigger than a robin, but not nearly as big as a crow. They have about a 20 to 22-inch wingspan, so pretty good-sized wings. Makes them pretty decent flyers. And they weigh about 0.1 to 0.2 pounds. I didn't bother doing that to inches. Like, it's hard to find their weight. There actually is a ton known about their physical description because there's not a ton of them, and they're in very difficult to find areas of the world. Very thick jungle. As you can see there, the black areas on the map are where they're found, and that's in Indonesia and Papua New Guinea on that big island there, and they're going to be thick in the jungle. Big, thick jungle birds. So they're not exactly a bird you're going to find coming up to your feet or in the backyard. They are elusive little people. And, but they actually have a pretty decent lifespan, 5 to 8 years. That's a pretty good lifespan for a bird their size. They've got a much lower infant mortality rate. And then 5 to 8 years is their wild thing. Although there was one that was held in captivity and lived up to 20 years. So it's, they can live pretty good lives. That's pretty typical for a bird. Typically the bigger they are, the longer they live. Well, okay, you start getting diminishing returns after you get to like big parrot size. But the bigger passeriformes tend to live a little longer than the smaller ones. But yeah, they're doing all right. They don't have a lot of natural predators. There are some, ground animals that'll eat them and some larger birds. But yeah, they don't have as many in the jungle. They're pretty safe there. So not a lot of predators. So that helps keep their lifespan up a lot longer because most birds don't die a natural death. At least most little birds don't. It's a scary world out there. Rodney, I'm gonna have to ask you to move down a little bit. You're kind of in the way. Okay, can you move, Rodney? Yeah, thanks.
When is Rodney going to be the bird of the day?
I already did chickens. Chickens was like one of my first
Okay.
20. So yeah, Rodney's already been covered as bird of the day.
Oh, he's not like some kind of special species. He's just a regular chicken.
Nope, he's just a domestic chicken. He's not special.
Okay.
All right. So now here's an interesting thing about them. There is actually a lower population of females than there are of males. They actually think that it's about 1.5 to 1. There's more males than females, which is highly unusual. And they're not really sure why. They think it might be because the females have a higher infant mortality rate. So when they get to adult, I don't know, it's weird. But that has made the males have to really go all out on their mating displays. And, well, this is a case where I can't just tell you about it. Oh, no. No, folks, I'm going to have to show you. I'm going to have to show you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to show you with the help of good old Sir David Attenborough.
The superb bird of paradise calls to attract a female. And he has more luck. But what does he have to do to really impress her?
Man, just watch it. It is crazy. Yeah!
Yay!
I mean, look at the way this female is acting. I think that's pretty close to how females act when I try to do my mating display.
That dance is just so beautiful, though.
It's
I
hard
love
not
it.
to feel deflated when even your best isn't good enough.
He's like, so?
Like,
What? What? Don't you want to smash? What, you want to smash?
Like you didn't like it?
We exchanging numbers? Yeah? No?
So yeah, that is a crazy mating display. But and not only do they do the dance and the fluffing up the feathers and all that, they actually spend a whole lot of time clearing the area of like leaves and stuff, and they make sure it's nice and clean and the perfect area as a dance floor for them. And then what they will do is they will call out a mating call, be like, hey, 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 I'm going to do a dance. Who wants to come see a dance? And if a lady hears it, she'll be like, okay, I'll come see your dance. And then she'll land by and he'll do his dance. And, well, they have found that a female typically will reject 15 males before finally saying, okay, yeah, you're the one. So, their chances of success are actually a lot higher than using Tinder.
Hey.
Yeah, just saying. But here's the thing: is once a male is selected and they decide to get it on, the male will stick around with the female, and he will aid in incubating and rearing the young. So once your father is chosen, he's a good father. Good father helps him out. And yeah, good little fathers. But here's the interesting thing: is that until they're about 4 years old, the males actually look more like females than the rest of the adult males. They don't start growing the. I mean, they have a much darker coat than the females do, but the really bright cyan-colored feathers, those don't start showing up until they're about 4 years old. And then even then, they usually don't mate until they're 5 or 6 at the earliest, because it's like, yeah, they may start to get some of those earlier feathers at 4 years old, but the lady's gonna be like, oh, that's not a bright enough cyan. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to reject you, little kid. You're not sophisticated enough for me. Meanwhile, females will start breeding at age 2. So again, we got older gentlemen creeping up and doing a creepy dance on younger ladies. So
Oh, no.
yeah, that's the way it goes with the bird of paradise. It's yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if you're looking at their lifespan, I guess it would be like a 45-year-old hitting on someone in their 20s, technically legal, but still kind of creepy. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, these birds, they're considered omnivorous. They'll eat berries and nuts and stuff. And insects are their primary diet. But little lizards and frogs, they'll go for. Just the real little ones, little gecko, little tiny tree frog. They'll go for those. They like it. And although their population is actually in very good shape now, they're actually considered of least concern because the people of the islands have done a lot to... It's illegal to kill one of these guys. It's illegal to capture any of these guys. There's strict laws to keep them living alone because, well, hey, guess what happened? Colonialism happened. And they were like, hey, look at these bright, beautiful feathers. Let's kill a whole bunch of these birds for their feathers and use them for fashion. Or they were also very commonly used in fishing lures. And like, yeah, it's like fly fishing lures used to have there used to be a real big problem with like beautiful birds being killed for fishing lures. It was a real big problem. And birds of paradise were one of the birds that were most commonly victim to that. But luckily, the governments of Indonesia and Papua New Guinea have both decided that these birds, and in fact all birds of paradise, are now protected. And luckily, they're doing okay. But of course, just like any other wild bird species, deforestation is the #1 threat to them. But luckily, they're still doing all right. Yeah. Had a run of fancy feathers in the last few birds. Yeah, we kind of have. Now we did. So,
Aw.
my thoughts on the lyrebird. I love these guys. I mean, okay, maybe they are kind of creeps, but you gotta respect that display. You know, they're going out there. You know, it's not like they want to do that display. They have to do that display if they want to have children. It's just like those ladies are very picky. Very picky. Maybe it's I don't know. What do you think, Gracie? You're the woman here. Is it creepy or is it cute?
Oh, well, I mean,
I'm putting you on the spot.
it's hard to say, but I mean, all I care about is just that crazy dance, man. I don't know.
Okay, well,
But
you said you're
yeah.
married to Ergo. Did Ergo do a crazy dance like that in order to...
Well, I mean, I should let Ergo say it then.
Yeah, Ergo.
Yeah,
what was
Ergo.
what was your mating display?
I think I sent like a DM. I don't.
Wow, slipping into the DMs. That feels like something that a carrier
On
pigeon
Facebook
would...
even.
I think that's what a carrier
Yeah,
pigeon
it was.
does. Facebook, wow. Brooke, what do you think of what do you think of our superb bird of paradise?
I mean, they know how to bust it down for sure.
Absolutely. How to bust
Me
it.
too.
Dude, to do the Pulp Fiction dance, yeah. It was a teenage wedding and the whole folks wished them well. All right, well, I have to say, prettiest Passeriformes? Probably. I might have to give that to them. The birds of paradise are... And there's a whole bunch of other birds of paradise, and I think I'm going to cover another one at some point in the future, but the superb bird of paradise was a great one to start with today. But yeah, if you want to see some cool stuff, just look up birds of paradise on YouTube. There's lots of great videos of not only this species, but their family members in the same family as them. And gosh, what beautiful, beautiful birds. Very superb, as Hikari says. I love them so much. So yeah, this was great. Good bird of the day. And thank you so much, Ergo, Corvus, Grazi, Dragon Lady, and Rook, for joining me in. And we're going to call this bird of the day done. And since there were no other redeems, we're going to call the stream